What's up, everybody? It's Big Matt and Little Matt from Ham House Sports. As you saw last video in the Ham House Sports Guide to Collecting and Investing Sports Cards, we talked about why to collect, why to invest, why, right? So this one is about like what cards to collect and what brings value into sports cards.
Right. So the first video was kind of why do we even do this? The second card is how do you begin to understand what cards have value and what drives the value in sports cards. Yep. So Matthew, what would you say is the number one thing, regardless of the brand, regardless of the era, regardless of anything, what's the number one thing that drives a sports card's value?
Rookie card.
Okay. So why is that?
Right. Why is that? Right. So the rookie card is the first card printed of a player, right? And one of the first cards printed of a player, because some players have multiple rookie cards, right? But the rookie card is basically like the thing I find cool about rookie cards is it's printing a card of them before you even know they're a star, right? Because like you never knew Patrick Mahomes was going to be a star, and now he is. So his rookie cards are worse than him. But a player like Sam Darnold or Baker Mayfield, they thought he was going to be a star, but his cards aren't worth as much as like Mahomes or anybody. So I find that cool that it's the first card printed of a guy before he's the guy, right?
Right. And so that's where a lot of folks can get into or buy a rookie card before that player's done really well. Now, there's good and bad to this because you could buy a rookie card of a player you think's going to be good, and we've all seen so many sports players that just don't turn out with all the hype. The adverse of that's true, and a perfect example is a guy like Tom Brady. Right. Tom Brady was drafted in what round?
He was second last pick.
Yep. So in this case, who was collecting Tom Brady cards at that time?
Maybe like a Michigan fan.
Exactly. Nobody. So then he comes out. He ends up becoming the starting quarterback in the Drew Bledsoe trade, or when Drew Bledsoe got hurt, right? Isn't that right?
Yep, Patriots.
And then
he won 2 Super Bowls.
He goes and wins Super Bowls, and then he becomes Tom Brady. So someone who got in on Tom Brady in his rookie year.
I guarantee you, his Bowman Chrome card, that's doing like $10,000 and a PSA 10. You probably could have gotten it not graded for maybe $1 since he was the last.
Yeah, absolutely. So you've got these stories. Now we know people who have told us that they worked in card shops in the '80s and they were picking up Michael Jordan Fleer rookie cards for $2-3.
And there was I heard a story about how some guy, he was a mailman, he used to come every day, and people would open boxes, and they lived in Chapel Hill where Michael Jordan played college, and they would put all the Michael Jordans in a box, and all the kids would come in. This guy was a mailman, would clear it out every single day. He said he probably bought 1,000 from them, and they're doing $3K
so
right now.
If you look at the most iconic sports cards in history, all of them are going to be rookie cards. Mickey Mantle's rookie, Jordan's rookie, Brady's rookie, even going back like the Honus Wagner, which is the iconic T206 tobacco card. Those were some of the first cards ever printed. Now, when you get into the valuation of cards, just knowing that it's a rookie is a big thing. And then the next thing, Matthew, when you start to deal with, okay, I've got a rookie card of a guy. Now what in addition makes that card valuable?
Yeah, so rarity is another thing that makes it valuable. So
how rare is the card?
Yes. So basically, this has more to do with modern, but on vintage, it has more to do with grading. So on a vintage card, like a Mickey Mantle rookie, I think there's 300 ones. No, I think there's more, like 300 ones. Correct me if I'm wrong, but 300 ones, right? There's only 3 PSA 10s. So the rarity, 3 versus 300, will drive the value way up just because it's lower population on this card and higher population on this card. Now for modern, that goes for like numbered cards. So numbered cards are basically, it's a numbered to a certain print. So they only print a certain number of cards. So a card like a Prism rookie, which Prism is a brand, is just his base rookie. They make plenty of them, but it's still a good card, right? Versus a National Treasures True RPA, numbered to 99. So that's basically a bunch to 99.
Yeah, so let's bring it back down a little bit. We got a little bit. So you have there's lots of different brands, and we'll get to a brand conversation in a second. But what we were talking about was rarity. How rare is that card? So did they print a lot of them or did they print a little of them, right? And then you've got serial numbers, which they actually put the number on there, and that's for modern cards.
Yes.
But then you're talking about vintage cards and they're being graded. That's another issue. We'll talk about the condition of the card, and that leads to population. So just talking about rarity, it really has to do with how many of those cards were printed, right?
Yes.
So, like, for example, one of the most overprinted cards in history is the Ken Griffey Jr. Upper Deck rookie. Okay. Now, it is a rookie card, yes, but there were many prints made. They say like 2 million of those were printed. So it's not that rare.
So it doesn't go. So even though he's a great player, his rookie card doesn't go for as much since they printed so many of them.
Exactly. So, like in front of us here, this is an example. This is a Ronald Acuna rookie card, but this one is called the SSP, which is a super.
Same as the Shohei.
Yep, and the Shohei, same thing there. A super short print. There were only about 300 of each of these cards printed. Now, there's a lot of other rookie cards for Acuna and Shohei, two of the better players in baseball, but there were only 300 or so of these short prints that were made.
Yeah.
So these cards are going to have higher value than the ones that were printed. So that's the rarity situation. Now, then you mentioned the idea of population.
And numbered. Well, another thing is like numbered. So like this
Joe Burrow here, yeah, this is
it's numbered to 25. So only 25 were printed.
Right. So again, you've got these have more value because they're short prints and because they're numbered. But let's talk about condition and population.
Yes. So condition of the cards, basically, how good in shape is it? Is it torn up? Is it gem mint? And grading companies grade on a scale through 1 through 10. 10 being the best, 1 being the worst. Right? So when people go off condition is huge on any type of card because PSA 10, which is a grading company, PSA, it just drives the market crazy. And they don't give a lot of 10s. So the population, which is how many of them are in circulation, are super low.
Right. So when you're getting a card graded, and we'll talk about grading in another video, but why you get a card graded is to validate or verify the condition. Because back when I was a kid and I was trading, it's like, oh, I got a Ken Griffey Jr. Upper Deck rookie. And the guy goes, oh, I got a Bo Jackson rookie. And you're like, well, I won't trade you for that because, Ken Griffey's better than Bo Jackson. I'm like, but your Ken Griffey Jr. is all banged up. And my Bo Jackson is actually really crisp, right?
Yeah.
But nobody could agree upon it. So people started grading cards as a way to create a standardized process so you knew that, okay, well, this card is a 7 or an 8 or a 10 or whatever. But then that correlated to population, and that's economics, supply, and demand,
yes.
Right? So you've got a rookie card, you got its rarity, you got supply and demand with its condition. And then the last thing, Matthew, is the modern card market is driven by performance.
Yes.
So talk about the value of cards as it ties to like fantasy sports.
Yes. So basically, like right when we got in, here's exactly what my dad told me. This is like fantasy on steroids because basically, like in fantasy, you get points for your player doing well. This is you have to get cash for your player doing well.
You can get cash.
You can, but you also lose cash when
Right.
the player does bad. So, but the thing about performance is if a player does really well, your card's going to go up in value. So, like
theoretically,
yes, theoretically. So Patrick Mahomes is probably the best QB in the league without a question. And his cards, he's the highest priced QB right now. But a player like Joe Burrow, who has a great career, who's had it so far, his price is like in the middle. And then a player like Baker Mayfield, his prices aren't that high because he hasn't done so well. But performance drives all prices in the market, really. And sometimes you can see if a player's doing really well, but his cards don't go up. Sometimes that's the key. You need to jump in if he's doing really well, and his prices might jump up a little bit. But performance drives everything in the modern card market. Like Zion haven't been playing, his cards are tanking. But a player like Jimmy Butler or Jason Tatum, who's playing incredible right now, their prices are to the moon. So
when you start to understand all of the stuff we've been talking about together, why does it matter? Why are sports cards popular? Piece of history, hard asset, rookie cards, rarity, population, condition, performance. You start to add all of that together and you get this almost side economic engine where people are looking at cards and going, oh, that one has value, this one has value, this one doesn't. And you start to see how it begins to trend. And if you understand those trends, if you study those trends, you can begin to get engaged, right? And that's where we've been very successful in our short time of collecting, of knowing the right type of cards to get, the rarity, understanding value,
condition.
Right, and all that kind of stuff. So hopefully that's really helpful for those who are trying to understand it. Just these are basic foundational things. And again, we're going to make 10 of these videos. This is only the second one. So we're going to get in to more stuff as we go, and then deeper as you get to become a more seasoned veteran in card collecting.
Yes.
All right.